Hello, my name is Brant, and last name is Hunt. Tonight is the 5th day of August, 2021, and I am a little upset because people just are living in dreamland. They're just living in dreamland, um, and they just people who they believe their child is theirs. They actually believe that, but the problem is they sign a contract with the hospital. You see, people are unaware of who is in control, and you're not in control. You're not even close. Mothers to be, I've already gave a video on this, and it's very critical. I've not met, but I actually know someone in Canada who has actually had a child outside the system. The system consists of the hospital. Hospitals are controlled by corporations, especially here in America. And after the quote unquote, what took place in the Great Depression, what took place was Franklin Delano Roosevelt basically stole the gold, gave it to the bankers, and even the gold and silver certificates of that represented in paper money was also required from the citizens, and you became the collateral. You're the collateral now. You're a subject. That's what citizen means, folks. You're a subject. You're a subject to the government. And you seem to don't understand when you send your child to the government schools that you're going to get a fair play. And you're not. You're not. You never will. You believe that you can be in the system and out of the system. And you can't do that. You're either what I call you got one toe in hell and one toe in heaven, one foot in heaven and one foot in hell, so to speak. And you believe that you're not compromised, and you are compromised because you don't even know who you are. You don't know you're the authority. You sign it away. Your signature is the most powerful thing you have. It is the most powerful thing you have in order to not sign something, but you feel compelled to sign something, especially in hospitals. You forfeit the right of you being the mother. You give that right to the state. The state takes that particular child and it says, we own the child, not you. And you go out and think that, oh, I'm sending my child to the government schools and they're going to teach them about good and bad or whatever morals. Baloney. You're living in a dream world, folks. You really are. You don't see what you're doing. You don't understand history. You don't know how you've been compromised. And you think you're a good citizen. And a citizen simply means in Latin is you're a subject. You're a slave. It's just that clear. And, if we go back 125 years and you had the child at home, you had what we call people who would take care of that child. There would be a mother there. There would be not so many drugs being forced in it. It would be a natural birth. It would not be say, oh, here's another drug for you, so the doctor can quote unquote, well, I got a golf tournament today. I got to go play, so let me just give this woman a drug sedative, and she won't have that child to a certain time period when I get back from the tournament. I'm serious, folks. I'm serious. This is not a joke. This is the way they see you. You're just nothing but a way of making money. So what happens is when you sign that piece of paper, you forfeit the right for you to be the mom. That's what happens. That child is no longer a free child. It becomes a subject to the government. And while you continue, you also use your signature. You register your children to the schools. You feel threatened. Why are you compulsory? We have it called. It's called here in America compulsory education. Why is it compulsory? Because they basically say you got to send your child to schools. Well, if it's compulsory, it means simply is you don't have no rights. You forfeit those rights when you did that in the hospital. And yes, I am angry because you can stop it. But no one really don't seem to see this. They just want to live in la la land. They think that, oh, this is great. I'm sending my child back to school. And, all this whole thing going with COVID-19, the same thing is going on. You're living in a fake world. This is a fictitious world you're living in. And the more times you sign certain things, you're putting your name in that pot to be a fictitious person. You're being a fake person. You're a straw man. And you think you're doing that child a great honor. And most of you are simply out there trying to compete with the Joneses, folks. That's over with. The country's going to collapse economically. There's no other way. You cannot do what this country's been doing for the last 50 to 60 years and get away with it. Your lawyers, friends, your politicians have sold you down the river. And you think, well, why is he upset? Well, I'm upset because you can do something about it and you don't seem to care. You don't care. You fucking don't care. You think a school teacher is going to, you don't even know the school teacher that your children go to. You don't even know them. And yet you trust you trust that unknown teacher out there to teach your child. And all they're doing is mixing their child up. They got an education themselves in order to program in your child. So your child is more confused and he thinks he's learning something, and all he's learning is simply is he's being more and more confused, and he's going to be living in a fictitious state. People, you need to get fucking angry. You need to understand what's going on right in front of you. But you don't care. You fucking don't care. And you play games. And you think life is just a joke. You just go down the dream. Everything's just fun. Merrily, merrily, that's a dream. That's right. It's a dream, all right, folks. And you buy into the stupidity that's going on out here. People, by going along with this whole thing, is making it worse. You're the crowd. You know that? You're the mob. You're the mob that doesn't take the guts to say, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to, such and such. I'll train my own child. I'll take responsibility. That's the key word, folks. Being responsible for your child. If you had that child, you're supposed to be responsible for it. You don't give it to anybody out here. But that's what you do. That's what you do. There was a time in America in the 1860s and 1870s when people lived on the land. They took responsibility. Yes, it was a hard life, but they were free. You're not free. You just think you are, you see, because you've been programmed so much that you believe that you're free. And you go out here and you vote. You give your power away. That's what vote means, voltage, energy. You're giving interchange. You're saying, I believe in the system. I believe it. I believe in the system, so I'm going to vote for Joe B or Joe A, whatever it is. And you think that these people, these clowns here, they're nothing but actors. They're actors. They don't wear any clothes, folks, but yet you believe they do. And so you give them your power, your energy. You see? And nothing's going to change, folks. That's why you're here. You're either going to go along with the program and keep going on down that trip, just walk on down and keep going, or else you're going to say, enough's enough. I'm not going to participate in this anymore. But most people are in debt. Most people are in debt to their necks. And see, that's what you sign your name to, is your straw man for a credit card. That's why it's in all capitalized letters, folks. That's not your true name, but you signed over such and such and gave them that power. So then now you can have all these such and such freebies, such and such. Or you have to pay that on the credit cards, you see. So you're in debt. You don't own your property neither. Find out when you don't make the property payment at the end of the year, and find out if you own the property, because you don't own it. They'll take it and seize it. You believe all this nonsense and you think you're free. It's a time for to be aware. And people don't want to bust their bubble. They want to live in this merry-go-round, such and such. I watch people. They feel guilty about their kids because they don't spend any time with them, because they're all the time working. That's all they do is work, 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 work. And then lo and behold, what happens simply is they buy them all these toys at Christmas as though that's going to buy them love. In reality, simply is the child's like, it buys into that, but later in life it says, what a sham. My parents never even loved me. They just gave me these toys here, all this stuff to amuse me, make me feel as though I was important. In reality, they didn't have time for me. I see it all around me. You see, I see people who, just go along with it. No, they're the authorities, they're the government. They know what they're doing. They know what's best for us. Really? 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 No, they don't know what's best for you. You know, but you've got to have some courage and some character to do what's right. And most chunk it. They just keep kicking the can down the road and think, oh, it's going to get better. It has to get better, such and such. Well, folks, I've been here for 61 years and it's getting worse and worse. I can tell you all kinds of stories about what I bought as a child for less than 50 cents. And I made $2.50 in the 1970s, late 70s. And I was able to do what I wanted to do because it was real money then. It was far more, it wasn't inflated like it is now. It's not worth anything, you see, and it's going to get worse because there's nothing behind it. And not only now, is that the rest of the world is caught on to the same thing. You see, over close to almost 50% of the people now in the world, countries, are actually looking to go elsewhere. Almost 50%. I think it's 46% right now that are already saying the dollar, nah, let's put it into either the euro or let's look at some other type of mixed bag. And this, no. And once that happens, folks, it's going to be curtains for this country. The wheels are going to come off like you've never seen before in your whole life. The prices of everything's going to sky high. You'll be lucky if you can get it if you can in the future. Your politicians have sold you out a long time ago. And you still vote for these clowns. And you believe, oh, Trump's going to save us. And, oh, such and such Biden's going to save us. Bullshit. You glorify one man and think he's going to do something for you. You made this man a demigod. You think he is some great person when in reality simply he's been already, quote unquote, compromised so many times. He'll do whatever anybody. When I mean by compromise, he's been blackmailed. All your politicians pretty much are blackmailed. They also are pretty sick people too. Look around. Look. I posted two things yesterday. The governor of New York is a possibility he's going to be impeached because, frankly, he can't keep his hands off of a woman's behind. He is all over women, and there's many, I think over 600 or 700 complaints against him. And this is what goes on, you see, because he's above the law. You see, and then the mayor out at Seattle resigned after one of his cousins, his own family, told him he was molested by the mayor. The whole thing's going to come down to sham. It's all a sham. Every bit of it is. And this fictitious world is going to change right before your eyes. This is not fear porn, folks. This is reality. It's coming down the road. And many people are going to take the shots. They're going to continue to do these things. And eventually you're not going to have a way. You're going to be in long lines and this and that. And you're not even be able to control your own destiny. You won't even have a chance to get out. You won't have a chance. When are you going to get some courage? And when are you going to stand for what's right? I studied political science in college. I study international relationships. I understand basically international relationships is based upon, commerce, trading with one another, countries such and such back and forth. And that's what it's about. And when the United States was an industrial power, that meant that simply as it was producing products that was selling throughout the world. There were jobs. There were plenty of jobs. When I was in the 70s, I could go and get a job wherever I wanted to get one. It wasn't hard to find a job. Eventually I worked for a plant and was working full-time on second shift and then also going to school, college, that is, in the first part of the day. And I was making around 79 and 80 those years. I was making, hear me out, folks. I was making over $7.50 an hour. That was good money back then. Most people don't make $7.50 even today. And the problem is simply is that it doesn't have any value now, period. The money's worthless. So my whole point simply is back to this whole issue. This is for young people. Because frankly, you don't have any hope. Look around you. There are not going to be any jobs for you. Many of you are probably involved in all kinds of things trying to destroy things. Good luck with that. Eventually, there won't be any jobs for you neither, no matter what they pay you, you see. And that's why this whole idea simply is that they're going to give you money, what's the word? Each month, $1,000, $1,200, whatever. Folks, that's the end of the line. Because once you take that, you're not going to be able to get out of the whole situation. You're not. It's basically, the wheel is against you. There's just, there's going to be one chute. You need to get back into nature. You need to get back to what we call natural law, meaning simply is do unto others as you would like to be done yourself. And realize simply is that's the only way there's going to be peace on earth. Any other way, if it's government ruled, if it's what we call democracies, communists, socialists, it's all going to fail, you see. Because these politicians work for the wealthy. And as I shared yesterday, the four major people that actually are not worth the spit you spit on them is that you've got politicians, that is lawyers. You look around, almost all politicians are lawyers, and what they do is they just draw up laws to make you a criminal. That's what they do, and they get away with it because, see, they are better than you. You see, they see themselves much larger, much more superior to you, and you're just an inferior nut because you don't know anything. You don't know shit, and you don't. And that's why they use you, and you can't figure that out. And so, yeah, I'm basically righteous anger here against a lot of you just because you just won't stand. You won't even stand for anything. I don't mean going out and marching in a blooming parade and begging the government to stop what they're doing. That's all bullshit. You stop. The voting is the key thing. Because what you're doing when you don't exercise voting, you're saying, I don't believe in the system anymore because I know what it's all about. It's from, it's from the government stealing from me, but it's also stealing from Paul over here and Joe over here. You see, they're robbing everybody. And so, I use some foul language to get your attention, but, people say, "Oh, he's really upset tonight. He's really mad about something." Yeah, somebody needs to get mad, you see, and see what's going on. I hope you're prepared, because if you're not prepared, you're going to be in really tough shit. You really are. If you're not prepared for what's coming, you're not going to make it. You're just not. You see, because money ain't going to do anything in the future. That's what this whole thing is all about too. All this whole progress is simply to get you more and more. That's why you need to pay for items with you is by cash, not a credit card. I know people who have cash, and they got plenty of money, and you know what they do? They put it on a credit card, or they take it out on the what is it called? It takes out of their bank account, whatever you call it. But they're not going to carry that cash because they think it's something bad. Well, it is something bad. But the point simply is, once you eliminate cash, you don't have a black market anymore, folks. Hello? Are you anybody out there? The black market? So you can't buy anything from your neighbors or somebody so-and-so. You know who it's going to hurt the worst? It's going to hurt the poor people. It's not going to mess with the rich. It's going to hurt the poor people, number one. Look around you. See who votes. See who puts or pays by cash. Look around. But, it'll hurt the poor people first. And they're claiming they're helping the helping the poor, when in reality they're doing the opposite. They're liars. That's all they do, is they lie out of their mouth every time it's open, folks. So why listen to them? So anyway, I would recommend someone who shares from her heart. And yes, she gets dogmatically upset too, because she's gone through a lot. And that's Janice Barcelo. Her website is Birth in Europe? What is it called? I'm trying to think of can't remember it, but it's all you gotta do is look up Janice Barcelo, spelled Barcelo, and look into that, and you'll find out simply is that what takes place in the hospitals are dastardly deeds that take place, folks. It's where a lot of trauma takes place for not only the mother. That's another reason why you don't need to have them and have your baby in the hospital. Not only does the mother deal with trauma, she's given all kinds of sedatives, all kinds of pain medicine, whatever it is, to keep her seduced, so that eventually there's no eye-to-eye contact with the child when it's first born. And then they talk you into, well, this baby might be a problem here, so we got to do a C-section here, cesarean. We got to do that instead of it coming through a birth canal. Like, it's supposed to be that way, folks. It's natural. We're going against everything that's natural, and everything we're accepting is artificial. Everything. Look around you. Artificial flavor here, artificial that, whatever. Look on the cans of whatever you buy, drink, whatever it is. Artificial this, such and such. And now you're seeing this. Oh, it may have this product takes place in a geoengineering factory. No kidding. It's on there. It says it. Yeah, geoengineering going on with some product that you buy. I've already seen it on candy bars. So there's geoengineering going on. What's on those candy bars? Keep on riding down the road, folks. It's going to be a bad taste in your mouth. You're going to find out that I warned you, and your blood is not on my hands anymore, because I warned. And I've talked to people, and they just seem to be Goes right over their head. Oh, that can't happen here. This is America. Really? Why don't you tell the Germans that? Why don't you tell the Russians that, folks? Why don't you tell the Chinese that? What took place? Oh, that's right. Well, over 100 million people got killed here, such and such. Oh, that had nothing to do with the army, though. You see, people want to live in a fantasy. It ain't going to last long, folks. Reality's about to hit the shit fan. So I recommend Janice Barcelo to look into Birth of the New Earth, I think it is. I think it's the name of her website. I know her. I've helped her out financially in the past. So my money goes to what I call people who really are on the front lines. And so, this for some of us, being prepared is the right thing to do. So I wish you a good night. And I wish you to wake up, because if you don't, it's going to be a sad story. Take care. Good night.